Right, the gearbox is in and it's just slightly proud, as it should be. So the number 1 gear should just sit on top. Right, now what I've got is a series of shims. I'm going to start with a brand new 2mm one, which should be in the packet there. So I'm going to have to cut away again. Sorry about this. I've got brand new shims, so I believe that's a 2mm. So I'm going to try that one first. Oh, it looks big. And what we need then is our bearing and our, sorry, that's the wrong bearing, and our seal. So let me get the bearing out and our seal that the bearing, oh sorry, our spacer that the bearing sits on, and then we can put our end plate on. Right, so that's our gearbox one, and I think the shim might be right, that's out already. Yeah, that was right. So put shim underneath the bearing in. I'm going to spray some lubricating oil on the bearing, like so. And we can put our end plate on, and again spray a bit of oil in there. What I've done is I've put no pawls in because it's pointless, we're not building the gearbox up yet. And if you noticed, I've put in these extractors. And I just need to knock it down like so. I know it's not bolted down, but that looks too small even with that. Right, so I'm going to cut away and get all my M7s on. You don't have to put all of them, but I do. Right, what I've done is I've put the shim that I picked out in, and it's 0.40, which is just past maximum, which is 0.3. If I can find it, 764. Have I got a 3 on here? 1.4, 25, 0.3. So that's the maximum. 0.30 is the maximum, and that fits in far too easily. This is what I was saying about trying to shim up the gearbox. That's far too loose. You can hear that rattling around. So what we're going to do now is take off the nuts, the 6 nuts that I put in place, and the washers. A little bit dark in this corner, isn't it? But it's not rocket science. It's basically try your shims. What I could do there is whatever gap I want now, I could just use a bit of maths and basically just pick a shim that would work. I'm going to try this one next. So if I just put the nuts, I can put them on there, I suppose, so they're safe. Get out the screwdriver attachment, which looks like it's already out on there. taken them one out of another socket set and just take them off quick. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, and one more at the top. And because we haven't put any pulls in or our Christmas tree in, or cluster, whatever you want to call it, if we now put the 10mm on, it should be that one, and just tighten these 2 in. In fact, I can do that with the screwdriver attachment on as well, can't I? Right, so that's just biting. That's just biting. Do them a couple of turns each. Like so. And if you remember what I was saying previously, because it picks at an angle, what you basically want is the plate to come off square. So what you tend to do is just give a knock on there, that raised piece up here at the back, and it will just bring it up square. I'm just taking off the washers now, and I can get to them without too much grief. One more there, and we'll just get the hammer, which is over there, and just give that a tap on that end, like so. Put them in a bit more, and a bit more. Tap on there. What we can also do is just get a screwdriver under there and lever it a bit. I don't recall if I had any problems before taking this off. I don't think I did. It does seem loose. See if I can get off hook. What I'll probably have to do is take some of the tension off. There you go. So there's our plate off, and get me hooked to get the shim out, and I've got a thicker one there. In fact, I don't think that was a 2mm I started with. I'm just going to measure it and cut back in. That was about 1.5, where this one is a 2mm. So we'll stick that one on, clear them nuts out the way on the end plate. Just screw the screws in again because it's coming off again anyway. Stick it back on there. Just give it a tap down, and again we'll put our washers back and our nuts, because we're not tightening these up yet to leave in place. I'm not putting any Loctite on them or anything. And I've got one more washer which is there. and I'll stick on the 6 of them again, putting the clean side down. You only need to just start them. 8, 4, 5 and 6, and all I'm going to do now is just tighten them hand tight and then tighten them down with the socket set. So out of the way, and put this in place. That's a 10, and we want an 11 because these are 7mm studs, and just do them hand tight and then just tighten them up with the socket set. Tighten about an 1/8 of a turn, or a quarter if you can get that much without, you don't want to strip the threads off these, but you want them as tight as you can get them basically. Then we're looking for less than 0.3 on the gearbox end. So this being a 2mm should have brought it back in underneath the 0.3 of a millimetre, which is what we want. So I'm just going to stick the socket set on, do them up one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that'll be enough. Now we're looking for our 0.3 not to fit, which it doesn't. So we know now the gearbox is under tolerance, so that's good to go. So let's see if we can get a 0.2 in. 3, 4, 6, 2.5. Try 2.5. Nope. 2.5 is not going in. So a 2. .5, 1. So that's a 0.2. That's 0.2 millimeters. Now I'm quite happy with that. That's just about going in. So we're looking at probably 1.5, which is well within tolerance. 0.15, that one. Yeah, that's tight, that's being held. So that is perfect. That's well within tolerance. Tolerances, according to the workshop manuals, are 0.07 millimeters up to 0.30 millimeters. So that's within spec. I'm quite happy with that. 1.5. I'll show you the gearbox being mounted in a minute, but you know, we haven't got any oil or anything, no Christmas tree in there yet. So what I need to do now is to take these nuts out again. We've got our Christmas tree to go in. And our gearbox to be built again, and I'll show you which way round the gears go. We've got our pulls to go in there as well. So we stick the 11 back on there again. And just take our nuts off one by one. This is the easiest way I know how to shim a gearbox, basically, because if you're doing it with the Christmas tree in and all the basically the gubbins, then you're working, this bearing all the time has to be hitting, pull the Christmas tree in, pull the Christmas tree out again, whereas you only really want to do it when you build the gearbox. And when you've built the gearbox, you want basically to check the clearance again on that shim. So again, I'm just doing all the 6 of these off. I'm hoping this is not too dark. You can actually see what I'm doing. So if I put the 10 on the other one, we can just start doing these in. The only thing I can think of last time is, did the gearbox end plate, one of the washers, catch it? Because it should only need a little tap like so. We'll just drop one of the washers inside, but that's okay because it's coming off anyway. And we can get them now anyway. It's just with gloves on, it's an absolute nightmare to try and pick these washers up. Try and do anything really. As I say, one time nobody used to wear gloves, but they do tell you to do that now with the dermatitors. So if I just take off a bit of them again, like so, and then just tap on that raised piece. There you go. Like I say, all you want is the gearbox end plate to come like that, and if you put the bolts in and overdo it, what happens is it goes like that, not like that, not like that, like that. Let's take our gears out. And what we're going to need to do then is turn the engine around, put the gear selector mechanism in, build that all up.